So here we have the back corner of the demonstration layout at the shop, and I've used some Mod-Rock over formers to create a sort of embankment off the edge of the platform. And because I'm working in 16mm scale, I've used some large knock trees, and what I want to do is, before I fix the trees in place, is use the Gagemaster static grass applicator to put down a layer beneath the trees before we start. So on opening the Gagemaster static grass applicator, you get the applicator itself, the instruction book, and a cap so you can leave material in there, and 3 different sizes of grid. So the idea is that you have a 9-volt battery inside. You connect this to a pin or other metal object which is stuck into the area to be grassed, and I'm going to be trying to use, I've not used it before, I'm going to be using the Gagemaster static grass glue. And the glue is conductive, so that as the grass comes out of the applicator, it's charged, and the glue is charged the opposite way, so that the grass should stand up on its end. So I'm going to fit this lot together, put some of the woodland scatter into the device, and apply it where I want the trees to be. So when I started, I was using the very coarse cap, and then I switched to the much finer cap because it all came out in one go pretty much. Not sure whether this has worked or not. I shan't really know until I discover whether the grass is going to do what I want it to do. It should stand up and be nicely realistic. But until the glue has dried and I have removed bucket loads of the grass that fell out, I shan't know. I may have to use layering spray and try and reclaim some of this. Apologies for the colour fluctuation. The camera is having real difficulties in deciding what colour it should be. That is the colour that it's kinda, that there is the colour it really is. So anyway, I'll update you. So this is our demonstration layout in 16mm, and I've been using it to try and demonstrate new scenic static grass and how to best use it. It's still a work in progress, but I want to show you the best way I've found of actually getting the static grass to work. Now you can see this area here, the area in the foreground. I've recently scattered and allowed the glue to dry. The area further back has been done for some time, and once you've actually put the glue down and you've electrostatically added the grass, you do need to leave it for a day or two to set. The next area that I'm going to tackle is the area between the tracks, between the platforms. And I found that relying on the conductivity of the glue to provide the static field to make the static grass applicator work isn't terribly reliable. So what I use is this sticky copper foil. So what I'm going to do is stick that to the baseboard and then cover that with a layer of glue and apply the grass on top of that. So I'm going to put the camera down whilst I stick the copper foil to the baseboard, and then I'll talk you through the next steps. Okay, so continuing on, I've put the copper foil on. You can see that I've left a little tag every so often, and that is so I can connect the crocodile clips onto the copper foil to provide the connection for the earth. There's another tag there. So you put a connection from the static grass applicator onto the copper foil tape. You can just stick a pin in the board. That's what the instructions tell you to do. Stick a pin in the board, cover everything with the static glue, but I found that the static glue doesn't conduct very well. So what I'm going to do now is put some glue on and get the static applicator loaded with static grass, and then you'll be able to see how it actually goes on. So what you do is you get a brush and you paint on the static grass glue. It's a special glue which is electrically conductive, and there's a lot of debate about whether you can just use ordinary PVA glue, and to be honest, I've found that you get a better effect from using the proper glue. It's not as cheap as the ordinary PVA glue, but I think it's worth it. Okay, so that's a section. Now what I'm going to do is connect the static grass applicator, and I'm not going to go right up to the end because we'll need to extend the glue and we don't want a messy brush. So I've loaded the applicator with a mix of different colours and lengths of grass. So we're going to connect the croc clip, switch on the applicator. So that's got a good coat on that section, but you've just got to leave that to set now. So I'm going to carry on and do a bit more down here, and we'll pick up the camera again when I've done it. Okay, so now you can see the results of the grass laying. Where the little copper tabs are still showing up, they can be trimmed off when the glue is dry, and strategic application of the self-adhesive tufts will cover that up. There's areas where the white of the glue shows through, but that will dry clear. And if we look back down the board, at the time the excess has been vacuumed up, that'll look really nice. Where the grass doesn't quite meet the edges of the ballast, we can put a sprinkling of extra ballast on. So that's progress on the demonstration layout. We've got to finish off painting the platform top and the dusting down of the engineering brick. It's a bit bright at the moment. And once we've done that, we can put more ballast down that edge. And the plan is to then add things like fencing and signals. But this will be a focus of the shop, with 16mm engines running up and down. So that's the introduction to static grass. If I zoom in a bit, you can see that it is doing what it's supposed to and standing upright. The copper foil tape I got off Amazon. It's quite reasonably priced. Static grass itself is about £10 for a small bag and £24 for a larger bag. On a layout this size you do use quite a lot, but it's very effective. And I've used different colours and different lengths, and you mix it in the applicator. So there we go.